This new 6'9" build can literally do it all. This build gets legend posterizer and elite contact dunk, so you'll be dunking over everybody. This build is an absolute menace on defense. You're gonna be getting chased down blocks like LeBron and making the other team just look completely stupid. You'll be hawking those lanes like a madman and taking those steals coast to coast to yam it over people, and you'll be able to knock down those long range shots as well. This is my favorite build I've played on all year so far. So we're gonna be playing at small forward. We'll be 6'9", 188 pounds and 7'4" wingspan. But let's start out with the physicals on this build. So our vertical is going to be an 85, which is what we need so we can get Hall of Fame posterizer and we can get elite contact dunks off too. But not only that, the 85 vertical combined with the high block rating we're gonna have on this build is absolutely insane. And the 85 vertical with a high steal rating at 6'9" has you hawking those lanes like crazy. Now for the strength, we're gonna put this up to a 73. At 73, we do unlock gold strong handle. And then for our speed, we're gonna put this up to an 84. And I'll explain why I'm doing 84 in a second, but we're gonna combine that with a 77 agility. Now obviously at an 85 speed, you get slippery off ball on gold. But with the amount of attributes going around on this build, I just wasn't able to get it up to an 85. So next season, when I unlock another cap breaker, I'm going to use my one cap breaker that I get on speed here. So I get that 85 speed for gold slippery off ball. But this is only one of 3 versions of the build I'm going to show you guys. This version of the build that we're covering is for all the people that have cap breakers. If you've been playing the game since it came out, you probably have 9 or 10 cap breakers by now from hitting starter 3 and leveling up the battle pass each season. But if you don't have cap breakers, the other 2 versions of this build will be for you. Now, since you're 6'9" and you're playing small forward and you will get put at power forward sometimes, you do want to have some rebounding on this build. So we're going to have an 80 offensive rebound, which is just enough to get us silver rebound chaser. Offensive rebound on this build costs virtually nothing. I think it costs 1 speed to get my offensive rebound all the way up to an 80. Whereas the defensive rebound, if I put this up by 1 or 2, that was worth about the same as 1 or 2 speed, which is kind of absurd when you're this low on the defensive rebounding. But silver rebound chaser with a 65 defensive rebound will get the job done. You're not going to be jumping over people to get rebounds, but if you're in good positioning, you'll get the rebound. Now let's get into my favorite part of this build, and that is the driving dunk. So we're going to have a 91 driving dunk on this build, but we're going to use 5 cap breakers here, which gets it up to a 96. So we unlock Hall of Fame posterizer and Hall of Fame aerial wizard, but we're also unlocking elite contact dunks off of 2, which is so much fun to use. Now, if you're a nerd like me when it comes to making builds, you do know that 2K Labs tested posterizer and they found out that gold and Hall of Fame posterizer are virtually the same, which is why I use my max +1 on posterizer to get it up to legend. And legend posterizer is absolutely ridiculous, especially since we're going to have a 99 dunk on this build with our takeover, because you get the slice takeover on this build, which gives you +7 to your driving dunk, speed and agility. So you'll have a 91 speed on this build at 6'9" when you do have your takeover, but you'll also have a 99 dunk when you're only at level 2 on the takeover. So you basically always have a 99 dunk with legend posterizer on this build without having to sacrifice a ton of attribute points to actually have a 99 dunk. So dunking is my favorite part of this build, but my second favorite part of this build is the defense, because our block rating is going to be an 88, and at 88 you unlock gold high flying denier. But we're going to use our other 5 cap breakers here to get our block up to a 93, which gives us Hall of Fame high flying denier and gold paint patroller. Now, having a block rating this high combined with being 6'9", almost a max wingspan, the high speed and vertical, like, dude, you're gonna be swatting everything. This is so much fun to play on defense. But you can also get gold interceptor at 6'9" with this wingspan, which is done by putting our steal up to an 85. And once again, being 6'9" with almost a max wingspan in the high vertical means you're going to be hawking lanes like an absolute menace. I promise you, the other team is going to hate you. Now, our perimeter defense here is going to be a 71, which is just enough to get us challenger on bronze. I would have loved to get this up to a 74 so we could also get bronze on ball menace and pick dodger, but there was just not enough attributes to go around, unfortunately. But a 71 has been doing me perfectly fine in the wreck. And then interior defense, we want to put this up to a 77, which is the requirement to get paint patroller on gold. And when I tell you paint patroller is one of the best badges in the game, I mean it. If you're in front of someone who's driving at the rim, they are not going to be able to score on you unless they have like legend physical finisher or legend posterizer or something. But you would think with having all these stats that you would have no playmaking, you would have no shooting on this build, but you have both. This build can literally do it all. So for our ball handle, we are going to have a 75, which is just enough to get us bronze ankle assassin. We'll also get bronze handles for days, gold strong handle, and bronze unpluckable. But 6'9" is the tallest height you can go while still getting that 75 speed with ball to unlock silver lightning launch. And since you're 6'9", lightning launch is a tier 2 badge, so you can +1 this to have it on gold while also having your max +1 on posterizer to get that up to legend. And having both of those badges at 6'9" is absolutely OP. It is so much fun to use, especially since a lot of your matchups at small forward and power forward are going to be slow, so you'll be able to just blow by everyone and then dunk on whoever's in the paint. Now for our pass accuracy, it isn't the greatest, I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna have a 71 pass accuracy, which is just enough to get silver dimer. You're not gonna be able to throw long range passes in the rack or anything, but it'll do just fine in the half court. I've had no issues with it, and you'll be able to shoot lights out on this build. I just had a game where I shot like 14 for 14, I'm pretty sure it was, and I was like 7 for 7 from 3. I think it's the best I've shot all year, to be honest. For some reason, 2K25 has been a struggle for me shooting, but now that they released the Tracy McGrady jump shot base, I have been absolutely shooting lights out. And I'll show you guys the jump shot I'm using. I think I showed it in the last video, but I'll show you guys again in case you haven't seen it. But our mid-range shot, we're gonna put this up to an 85, and putting this up to an 85 does unlock silver deadeye, and it unlocks a lot of the jump shot animations we need. And then we're gonna put our 3-point shot up to a 75, and a 75 is the lowest 3-point rating you can go while still getting a pure green window. And like I said, I've been shooting lights out on this build. Just make sure you get your hot zones, make sure you're using your jump shot boost, and you will be good to go. And then I think our free throw here maxes out at a 62, which for the rec isn't the greatest, but you'll still make a good amount of your free throws. And we get shades of Lamar Odom because we're going to be playing like an absolute crackhead on this build. But the build name we do end up getting is Inside the Arc Threat, which honestly, not a fan of the build name, but it's still kind of a sleeper build name because they won't realize how much of a menace you are on defense. Now, like I said, there's going to be 2 versions of this build where you don't need cap breakers, and this is the first version. Obviously, since you're not using cap breakers, sacrifices are going to have to be made, which on this version, we sacrifice steal. You don't get any steal on this version, but you still get the 96 dunk with the vertical and the block, so you can still use your +1 on your dunk to get legend posterizer. And an 88 block still gets you gold high flying denier and silver paint patroller. But if you do ever end up hitting starter 3 and unlocking those 5 cap breakers, I would put them on block on this build because then you will get gold paint patroller and you'll get Hall of Fame high flying denier. But really, other than the steal rating, this build is virtually the same as the one with cap breakers. And then here's the second version of the build with no cap breakers. Now on this version, you do get the 85 steal, so you get the gold interceptor, but we did have to sacrifice the driving dunk a little bit. So you only get a 93 driving dunk, so you don't get elite contact dunks, but you still get pro contact dunks, and you do get gold posterizer, which is a very good sweet spot for posterizer according to 2K Lab, but you also do lose out on that super high block. I mean, you do get an 84 block, which is enough for silver high flying denier and silver paint patroller, so you'll still be swatting it, but just not at a crazy elite level. And as I promised, here's the jump shot that I'm using on this build. On these 6'5 to 6'9 builds, I'm always going to be using this jump shot for the rest of the year. It was my go-to jump shot all last year, and it treated me so well. But we got Tracy McGrady for the base, Troy Brown Jr. upper release 1, Kyle Korver upper release 2, and then here is the blending. I know I'm repeating myself, but as I said in the last video, I'm not a fan of super fast jump shots. I never have been able to get the hang of them. Maybe I'm just bad. So I always go for a B+ or A- release speed. But if you're a fan of faster jump shots, you can still bump that release speed all the way up and you'll still get that A+ release speed rating. And then these are all the animations I am using on this build. I mean, the playmaking moves, it's nothing special, but you will be able to get yourself open. But let me know what you guys think of this build in the comments. Make sure to click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.